left, Patrick. Everybody gets 2 words. But I will call on you randomly so you don't prepare. Because I know I'm going to start, and all of you guys over here are going to be down verse 5.
Just go for it.
Just go for it, yep. Do you guys want it blown up bigger? Is that?
I've got it pretty big on my
It's okay? All right.
Okay, so they're a sheep.
Good. That is sheet. Now, does everybody understand why that's happening that way? So, why did you do the schwa to the beta's vocal?
Because I heard you say it.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it's at the beginning of the word.
Yeah, it's at the beginning of the word. I have to get to the next consonant, okay? The resh has its own vowel, okay, good. Where are you drawing your next syllable line?
And how do you mean?
Where's your next syllable after bevre? Well, I have to say that makes pretty much sense. It's going to be sheet now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, because the sheen has its own vowel. Okay, how about the aleph and the yod? How are they functioning?
Just its roots.
Yeah, they're just root letters or vowel markers. They don't have their own dots. Okay, that's how you tell the difference between when something's functioning as a consonant and when it's functioning as a vowel marker. The aleph has none of its own dots. If it was a consonant and was vowelless, what would you need in there? A schwa, exactly. If it had its own vowel, you would have dots for the vowel. Okay? Same thing with the yod. The yod is doing nothing other than reminding you it's a long I. Because if it was a true consonant, you would have a schwa under it, or it would have a vowel. Okay? Bereshit, how do you pronounce the next one? Bara. Good. Now notice the voice inflection at the end. Bereshit, bara, and then we keep going. Okay? Next 2. Actually 3. The second one is a little short.
Elohim.
Elohim, that was an easy one.
8.
Good. This one's a little trickier.
Hashemayim.
Very good. Okay. Now, even as we start to read, the vowel under the hay is short. We expect what? Closure. So I want to say hush. But then I see a dot. It tells me doubling dot, so I can use it again. Hasha, ma. Now this yod is a consonant. It has its own dots. Ashamayi. Very good. Okay. Leah. That's not what it says.
I'm so excited.
The second letter is a.
It's
Good. So can you hear enough? Better, but the vowel 2 dots sounds like. You're treating it like a line.
Would it be an I?
A, like they.
Okay.
Yeah, long E. You were kind of pronouncing it more like just the straight line. Yeah. So the 8. The 8. Okay. Now notice what we said before. An aleph can function as a consonant. It can carry its own vowels, and what you hear is what they call a stop. It's a break between the vowel in front and the vowel that the aleph has, because it doesn't have any sound of its own. So you're hearing the break, then you're hearing the vowel that comes next, and then the end. The 8. That's what happens when an aleph functions as a consonant. It's just a gap in your pronunciation. The 8. Okay, next word.
I can't remember what the Y tree sounded. The Y tree. Okay. Okay, wait. So,
Short. Short E. At the end. Eh.
Eh? Haaretz.
Yes.
Oh, I've already seen that.
And statement of fact rather than ha.
Giant accent at the end.
Yeah. And then, as we mentioned, some of you weren't here yet, the two dots, two diamonds at the end is just part of the notation that this is the end of the verse. Okay? Next, Tammy. No, it's not oo. It's only oo if they point it as oo. So a vav at the beginning of a word is always and. Well, always. Vashti. There's a proper name that starts with and I think one other word in the Hebrew Bible that starts with a vav. But other than that, and. Okay? If they specifically tell you to pronounce it as oo, then you do. Otherwise, it's a vav consonant. Because notice that you're actually getting vowel dots with the vav. So you have to do it as a consonant. Good. The haaretz. Notice the voice inflection. The haaretz. The haaretz. Okay? Now, this one's a little bit tricky, but go ahead and give it a try. You'll know more about this next week, but for now you have two options. And it'll basically rest on the issue we did today. Is the first vowel long or short? And because you don't know enough yet for this word, I'm going to tell you the first syllable has a long vowel. So if it has a long vowel, how would you break it into syllables? Yes. Ha, yeta. So we're over here, right on the far right. So you have two options. It could be, if this was short O, it would be pronounced hoi, ta. But what letter is tav? It's a begad kufat letter, right? What should happen after a silent schwa? Should have a dot in here. You should have a begad kufat dot. You don't. That tells you that you hear the schwa, and if you're hearing the schwa, that means your first syllable has to start here. Ha, yata. Okay? All right, good. Jared, nope, Mike.
Tohu,
Good.
vavohu.
Good. Tohu, vavohu. Now, you got a kind of a lucky option because all the vowels are long. So you didn't have to do much other than just go syllable by syllable. The luck of the draw. Happens that way. Good.
Vaposhek.
Good.
Alternate.
Good. V'choshek. So we inflect the voice again. V'cho, and the sheen has its own vowel. V'choshek. Al panei. Al panei. Now, we're going fast, and I'm just going to keep letting the experience count. If something still doesn't make sense, make sure you shoot your hand up. Okay? All right. Next, Alexander. Right here and here.
Tahom.
Tahom, good.
Varu.
Close. Now, yes. Now remember, Hebrew never ends a word with pata. And notice how it's kind of over here on the right-hand side. So it's only the transition from here to here. So put those two vowels inside. So what would it sound like? Ruach. So you're actually going to do the ah sound to help you get into the guttural. You pronounce here at the back of the mouth. The ruach. Okay? All right, good. Annika. Next two. Good, that was easy. Next one. So, what's under the mem? Okay, good. Now, what are you going to hear? You're going to have, at the beginning of a word, you're going to kind of have to hear something, right, as you move into the next consonant. Okay? So, just very abrupt sound. The resh has its own vowel. What about the chet? Does it have its own vowel, or is it? So, if you have 3 dots underneath, is this a vowel or some other kind of notation?
It's a vowel.
Okay, good. So, anytime you have a consonant and a vowel, it has to be functioning as its own syllable. So I can compartmentalize this word into 4 elements. Okay, I've got ma, the resh and the patach have to go together. The chet and the segol have to go together. And the final syllable has to go together. So I've got those 4 parts. Just put them together sequentially.
Sorry, I'm trying to be hard.
So now, here's something I want you to do for me, okay? So when you pronounce Hebrew, you're going to have a tendency to figure out what it ought to be before you want to say anything, okay? I don't want you to do that. So I want you to start with the first syllable, and I want you to tell me what a mem and a schwa should sound like, and then I just want you to work your way through. You can always go back and repeat it more quickly, but I want you to go just in sequence. Okay? So mem and schwa sounds like,
Me.
resh and patach sounds like,
Relation papa.
uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
So this vowel, the patach, sounds like what? Ah, good. So resh and patach sounds like ra. Chet and sigol sounds like
Is it he?
he.
He.
Yeah, this is a shorty. So met, ra, he. It is a pei. Now, remember that pei is a Megad Gufat letter, but it doesn't have a dot. So this particular letter will be soft. So how do I do a soft pei? Like PH in English. Like philosophy, PH. So it becomes a soft pei. So it's going to be an F sound.
Okay.
This is what vowel again?
Okay.
Good. And good. So put it together.
Me. Okay.
Bet.
Right.
Good. Okay, again.
Me. Me. Me.
Ah, now you're switching immediately to the fact that this is an A, but it has to sound like ah. So, okay, now this is the accent. Inflect your voice here. From the beginning.
Okay.
That's a question. Let's do it as a statement of fact. Very good. Yeah, it's an jefe. All right. Caleb, end of the line.
Al Panay.
All panay, good.
Panay.
Good, yes. Okay, now I hit a short vowel. I'm expecting closure. So hum, but now I need something for my new vowel, so I'm hearing it twice. Hamamayim. Okay, now don't do hamamayim, but just hammayim, hammayim. Just hold the mem for a little bit longer. Hammayim. Okay? All right, Tony. Verse 3. You guys are doing great. Now stop for just a moment. So the dot with the yod, see how it's up inside the word? If it's a vowel, it has to be below the bottom line or up above the top line. So it's not a vowel. What is that? It's a doubling dot. Good.
So my yo,
Vayo.
vayo, mar.
Yes, now put the accent on the yo.
My yo, mom.
Yeah, vayomer.
Vayo.
Vayomer.
It's an head, don't we?
So this is va, and you're and short, so I'm expecting closure. Vai. Now I've got a new vowel and I'm hearing the yod a second time. Vayo. How about the aleph? How's it functioning? It's just a placeholder. There's no dots that go with the aleph. The yod has the vowel, not the aleph. Okay, it's only there to tell us that this comes from the root aleph, mem, resh, which means to speak. So, and he said, vayomer. So that's purely there as a placeholder. So I'm hearing vayomer.
I'm a little bit confused about with the olives, like, they don't make a sound most of the time unless they're dotted or something.
They never make a sound. If it's functioning as a consonant, it will be a gap. So let's go down here. Somebody will get a freebie. Here I have consonant vowel, aleph vowel, and n. So it's functioning as a consonant because it's carrying its own vowel. Okay? Now you don't hear an aleph anytime, ever. But if it has responsibilities, it's still functioning as a consonant. It is a silent consonant. All you hear is the gap between ah and o. Ha, or. Ha, or. I'm hearing a
So
gap between here and here.
Is it like indicating the, where you put the accent, kind of? Is it kind of
No,
helps
because
divide
the accent just always happens to be at the end of the word. But it is holding the vowel. You have, apart from the oo at the beginning of a word, every vowel has to be carried by a consonant. It has to be. So the aleph is carrying the vowel. Because it's a silent consonant, I'm only going to hear the vowel, o, even though the aleph is there. Whereas in this word, you could take this out and you'd still have the same exact thing. You'd have vai, yo, mar, because the aleph is doing nothing other than telling you that it comes from the root associated with speech. That's all it's doing. So if you have a letter that's functioning as a consonant inside of a word, it has to have its own dots. It has to have it. If it doesn't have its own dots, it's only there to reflect historic spelling or to function as a vowel marker. And you don't have to worry about pronunciation. Okay, we'll hear a lot of that, so it'll keep coming up. So if that doesn't seem perfectly fine, let it go. It doesn't matter, it'll come back.
Okay.
We will be back again. So Tony, so you finish this one by Yomer, and then how about this one? Elohim. Good, everybody loves that one. Carol, these two.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Good, no, it's good. Yehi, and then the next one?
Oh, I said four.
Or. Okay, good, yes. Yehi, or. Let there be light. You have to say this one. Yehi, or. Okay. The what?
The yod doesn't make a sound at the end.
Ah, yes, because you don't have to have dots with final consonants, okay, anyway. But when you say E, you're not going to hear a yod after a long I anyway. It's just a vowel marker. Yehi. Yehi. Yes, this is the vowel right here, the hiric yod. It's
Yeah,
your
they go
long I.
together.
They go together, yep. Okay, and because you can't see dots with the final consonant, you have to rely on your familiarity with words and stuff to determine if it's a long vowel with a vowel marker or whether it's a vowel and a consonant. Okay? Now, if you get a vowel with a user-friendly vowel marker, then that's exactly what it is, a vowel marker. But if this was E plus a vav, is vav the kind of vowel marker that you would use with E? No. Then it's a consonant. Eve would be how you, so you'll know whether or not the consonant and vowel are compatible or not, and whether you should actually pronounce it. Okay? Where are we at? Drew. Then Kyle. Right here. Now, does anybody remember what this little doodad was here? Method, yes, bridle. What does it do?
Stops you.
Stops you. Okay, Drew. So, everybody got that one, man.
So, okay, so it stops you, so I would just the first one by itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be, ya,
Va.
va, sorry. Va. I don't think I'm not
It has a schwa, but then the hey has its own vowel, right?
Yeah,
So that means you have to pronounce the first two by themselves,
okay.
the yod by itself, and transition into the hey with its vowel.
So even though the yo has to show off it?
Yes.
pronounce it?
Correct.
Okay. So,
So I've got, so do it unit by unit. So,
that would be, yeah, yeah,
no, so the vav sounds like,
oh,
yeah,
va,
va, okay, good, va,
yeah.
yeah, good.
Right as you're really like on the screen, it just turns off.
That is annoying. Anyway,
Va,
where'd it go? Oh, over here, all right, yes. So we had va, yeah,
hit,
he.
he, okay.
Yes, because it's a long
Oh,
I.
okay.
So va,
Va,
yeah,
yeah,
he.
And then I pronounce that, right? When the beginning of a word is the.
Yeah, so does the olive have a vowel?
It does.
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. So it's functioning as a consonant, but it's silent, so I don't have to worry about pronunciation. I just say,
I would say that,
now.
what is it?
The olive, so remember you're weaving through. So I go through the olive. Do I have a vowel at the bottom?
No, but.
Nope, so I pick it back up at the top. Does the vav have dots?
No.
It's a vowel marker for the O. I don't pronounce the vav. It's just holding the O.
So, what in the word is that? It's just the rich.
It's just or.
Or, okay.
Yeah, because I'm getting the olive and the vowel. The vav is telling me it's an O,
Gotcha.
right? And I'm hearing the resh or.
Or,
Yes, okay.
okay.
That makes sense to everybody how that's working? Okay. Now, let me go back for just a moment. There was something I skipped over on the thing. Oh, and I'll move it
Move it
too.
so you turn
Is that if there was light?
It does, yes. So yahi, let there be light, vayahi, or, and there was light. Yahi or vayahi or. Now, you learned that closed, unaccented syllables take short vowels. Exactly, all right. So, we have this word right here. And we learned to divide it like this. Va, ya, he. First vowel is short. What do you expect to happen? You expect closed. Indeed, it should be. But Hebrew has this little quirk. Again, it's slang. Okay, I want you to remember Skinnem Levi. Okay, S. What is S? S sounds. That means Samic, Seen, Sheen, and Sade. S sounds. Kinnem, Kof, Nun, Mem, and then Levi, which is actually spelled Levi. These letters, of which Yod and Mem are probably make up 90% of when this happens. Skinnem Levi, think of when you skin something, what do? You take it out, exactly. These letters, when they're followed by a schwa and are doubled, are hard to hear. So they don't bother writing them. So, it's hard to hear vaya and hear two yods. So, they don't bother. They drop the dot. So these letters create an exception to a principle that we learned that is the fundamental operating principle for the way that Hebrew works all the time. Are there going to be exceptions? Yes, because Hebrew, like any language, is a living language. I can tell you why any exception occurs. Sometimes it's not worth telling you. Sometimes it will be. Sometimes I will, just so that you can rest assured. Oh, I can sleep at night because there is a reason. It's a meaning of life, whatever. But in general, I'm trying to give you a guide that helps you anticipate how things are going to work. So there are reasons, and that's what that little principle was trying to do in the grammar. Okay, let's see how much further we can get. Kyle, you went, right?
Nope.
Nope? Okay, Kyle, you're next.
Vayar Elohim.
Good. Vayar Elohim. Now, notice what we got. Vav, Pata, short vowel, I expect. Closure. Vi. Good. I've got Yod, vowel. What do I want? I want closure. Vayar. What's the olive doing hanging out here? Nothing. It's telling you the root. Because this comes from a root to see. And if you chop it off, it's a little hard to tell what this word means. So that's all it's doing. It's hanging out. So Vayar Elohim. Okay. Bryn, let's have you go. Okay, now don't make it high for, because then you're hearing Yod. Ha, or. Good. Two more. Tov. Okay, good. Okay, Brittany. I'm going to move the cursor. Isn't what?
Sorry, I just didn't get the second half. The
This?
Why is-
Tov.
What about the letter before it? Why is that taking for
This?
the one after? That one, sorry.
Cat.
Oh, yeah, 10,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
He, Tov. Okay. Good. Vi, I expect closure. Vi, I expect closure. Yav. No wonder I have a begad kafat dot. Vi, Yav, Dale. Good. Good. Okay. Haley. Wrong letter here. So Bay is right. What is this letter right here? If it hangs below the line, it's a final letter. Which ones are final? Good. Bain, huh? Bain. Or. Good. Okay. Sonia? Good. Treat it by itself. Ooh. Okay, now, notice here, beginning of the word, no vowel, so it's hard. Here it comes after a vowel, so it's soft. So Bain, Uvain, good. Good. Very good. All right. Amanda. Okay, now go back to this for a second. Okay, good. So make it double. Good. Good.
Yeah, right, it's an
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
And then.
And is that a short I or long I?
It's a short.
So what do you expect?
Oh, for it to be closed off, yeah.
Yes.
And then a close, so close.
No. So close this off of this though. Vi. Yep.
Yeah, oh, right. And then, Ray,
It is an A, sounds like.
Ra,
Oh, good. Yes. Vi Yikra.
Iba, Ibra, okay. And then, without he.
Okay.
What's Vayikra mean?
Vayikra, and he called.
That's the name of Leviticus.
Yes, the first word of Leviticus is Vayikra, and he called. Where are we at? Johanna.
Johanna.
Yes,
That's okay.
I know that too.
Or,
Good. Laor.
Or, oh. Yeah.
Okay, now, the yod, first letter in a word has to have dots. Yeah, absolutely has to be, okay? So yod, I'm looking for vowel dots, what is this one?
Oh.
Good, now, does the vav have dots?
Um,
No, so the vav is just a vowel marker for this. So I'm gonna pronounce
oh.
yom. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so over here, so in the first one, we had la, and then,
Placeholder.
well, no, not placeholder, because I have lamed, aleph. If it was just a placeholder, then I would have to treat the vav as a consonant, and I would say la, placeholder, vor. Okay, because I have to start my syllable with a consonant. The aleph actually carries the O. The vav is nothing more than a vowel marker for the O, long O. So this is a consonant. La, silent, or.
So are the aleph and the vav like sharing the same root?
They are, because the vav, you could write this word without a vav and it would be perfectly fine. Okay, because remember, this is what we were talking about earlier. The dots are put in by somebody completely different than the people that put in the vav. Okay? The vavs were put in a long time ago to help people read text that didn't have dots in it. So when they come in and put in the dots, they're only going to put in what they need to hear the sounds. So where are you going to put the dot? You're going to put it over here? No, you're going to put it between the aleph and the resh where you hear it. And you might as well put it over the top of the vav that represents its presence. Oh. Okay, so you hear la or. And then yom, yom. Good. Okay, good. Vela choshek. And this one, look at the accent. Kara. Good. And then repeat after me. Laila.
Laila.
Vayahi.
Vayahi.
Erev.
Erev.
Vayahi.
Vayahi.
Voker.
Boker.
Yom echad.
Yom Echad.